And that's the whole entrance video.
What's up, everybody?
Welcome in, everybody. Week 6. I feel like I say it every week. Going super fast. I hate it. Week 5 was interesting. We'll say that. But thanks, everybody, for being here. We got Tyler, of course, JC with sports affiliation, and, of course, the captain. How y'all doing tonight? Doing good?
Doing good. Oh, Captain, my captain.
Pretty good.
Let's get it. Great game tonight. I mean, obviously thought that Kansas City would have a lot more points in that game, but some crazy explosive plays.
Yeah, I really expected Kansas City to have a larger margin of victory than that, but
yeah, I think a lot of people bet the over just on Kansas City's points alone.
Yeah,
I mean, if you bet the spread, you were good. What was the spread? Yeah, the spread. Yeah, I think it was 9.5, right, or 11.5.
Yeah,
I think
it's 11.5. They missed it.
Yeah. I wish I would have wrote that down.
If it was 9.5, they got it off that last field goal.
Yeah, dude.
11.5. That's tough.
So there was definitely some players in this game that I were very excited. Rashee Rice definitely stepped it up. Him getting a lot more targets. Him looking explosive after the catch. Like we were talking about it. Like literally when he catches the ball, he's just like he literally is like just running with that ball. And he gets a lot of yards after the catch. So it's nice to see him start, producing.
Those are the receivers you love to have for fantasy. The ones that are running backs after they catch it.
Yeah.
Explosive after the catch.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the nice thing is his stat line was still pretty quiet. So he's a guy I think a lot of people should be targeting in dynasty leagues. So he's still affordable just because they've been spreading the ball out so much, but he's showing promise. So it should be him moving forward.
Getting a lot of static on your audio there, Captain.
Oh, my crappy internet.
Probably.
In the hotel suite.
Yeah.
I really wish Streamlabs would show me who these Facebook users are.
I think it's
I hate that it's just like Facebook users. Like, gee, thanks, Streamlabs. Appreciate you.
I don't think it's just Streamlabs because it's the same thing on StreamYard too. I think it's just like Stream. I think that Facebook blocks that.
Just locks the usernames. That's weird.
Yeah, it makes it difficult, but they can tune in on Facebook, and I have it pulled up over on the side, so I can tell you who all is commenting, or if you want me to throw a name out. If you're on Facebook and you're commenting, just put your name in if you want us to say it. Otherwise I'll try to catch it as I can. But yeah, no, that game was freaking. I thought we might get an exciting last, 6 minutes there after they scored. They got the 2-point conversion. I'm like, is it gonna happen? And then that Denver gets the ball back. It's everything you hope for, and then it's just not everything that you hope for.
And then it's just wah wah.
Richard Sherman, I think, said it best. At the end of the show, there he was saying how they were too conservative on a lot of their plays. They just weren't trying, and when they finally did, Cortland Sutton made it happen with that beautiful one-handed catch. And so,
oh yeah, that was a nice catch, man.
Dude, that Sutton catch,
stellar catch,
ridiculous. Dude, he made sure of it too. He got his foot down and his knee down and his back foot down. So it's and he had to twist his body. And he didn't push off either. He literally his arm was already extended and he kind of swept him, to make room and get leverage. And he's just that's a good catch, dude. Where's that been with Sutton?
I don't know. Speaking of Broncos wide receivers, I don't know. We talked about it some on the Thursday Night Football watch party, but I don't know if y'all watched Steve Smith's interview where he was talking about his interaction with Jerry Jeudy, and then he gave this monologue where he was talking to Jeudy, and then he dropped the mic afterwards or took it off and was like, I'm done with the show. But he ripped Jeudy, one, for being a punk when he tried to talk to him, but two, for being just a subpar, mediocre wide receiver when you were expected to be the dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, you look at, Even thinking about that, what do you think is Judy's value? Obviously, they're thinking about trading him. What's his value? Is he like in that 6th round, late round, first pick? Like
I wouldn't be surprised that's what he goes for, but I think he's worth a little bit more than that. I mean, shit, that's what Chase Claypool got. Like, he's way better than Chase Claypool.
Is he though? I mean, we know he is, but the production doesn't say so.
Yeah.
And that's what's bad.
But
that's what Steve Smith was getting at,
Change of scenery, maybe.
Yeah. Have you seen all the I don't know if you guys have heard it, but there's been jokes saying how Drew Brees is the GOAT now for being able to win a Super Bowl with Sean Payton, and how if he didn't have Sean Payton, he would have won 4.
Yeah, I see all the
yeah.
What's his
the
actor that did the movie?
Yeah.
I see a lot of those memes going around right now.
Oh, it's just so funny, but
Well,
it's hard to know because their plays aren't the offense isn't catered to Judy. It seems like they're just not.
It's not catered to anybody. It's like they don't have an identity. And
Yeah.
Russ is back there trying to pull Adam Sandler in the longest yard. Like, if you guys don't want to block for me, just go stand there. I'll do it myself. I mean, tonight he had 30 rushing yards. He just kept taking it and running the ball. And I'm like, man, sorry, guy. Get him some weapons that'll get open. Give him a little bit of time. Maybe he'll actually be what you need him to be,
Yeah,
it's funny because everybody expected Jerry Jeudy to have a really good season and be the guy, and you want to blame the offense, but Sutton's still producing at a fairly decent clip. So,
but barely.
Yeah,
barely.
And it's when they're losing. We need to take a shot. Let's do it. We'll take one shot, and Sutton delivers.
Yeah, but it's better than Jeudy, which is shocking.
Well, what's just crazy is we talked about, Greg was brought up, why aren't they using Mims more? Clearly he's shown how productive he can be when they're giving him the routes.
Mims has been bad the last couple games, though. I mean, fumbles,
it happens. He's young, but he's shown that he can produce too. Just give him the opportunity. Just let him run out there. Let him learn how to play football in the NFL.
Well, Mims is probably the reason that they're actually open to trading Jeudy, to be honest.
Yeah. I agree with that. I think Mims, part of the issues with his errors, I think he's trying to do too much as a rookie on a bad offense. When you get the opportunities and you've flashed, it's kind of I have to do more. Because this offense, it's borderline relying on you now because it hasn't been good.
Yeah, you start pressing and you make mistakes.
Yeah.
Let's hop over here to the chat real quick. We've got a couple of questions. Tua or Fields this week?
I mean, against Minnesota?
Yeah, I'm going Fields for sure. He's been on a roll, man.
It's going to be interesting. I think, DJ Moore could be a fun play. Minnesota's defensive back. Secondary is terrible. I mean, you get a good couple plays here and there from their front, but not against the run. I mean, Fields can, make some things happen, run outside, dude. I mean, Fields could get a bunch of rushing yards here, but he could also throw the ball on that secondary.
Yeah.
Tua's got a good matchup, though, too. I mean,
I think
he does, but he had a good matchup last week, too, and he.
Yeah.
I could see a lot of run game against Carolina this week.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I think that the Miami plays this game from ahead, and they just run a lot, and so there's not going to be a shootout against Carolina. Carolina cannot really score points,
Well,
look what they did against Denver. So, that's what same thing. We thought they'd run crazy against Denver, and they're nah, we're going to bury these guys. Just either guy could have a 12-point week or a 30-point week, and it wouldn't.
Here's a good point. So Carolina against Kirk Cousins, who had 37 points, 40 points, 23 points the 3 weeks before, stopped him and put him at 14 points that week. So I mean, you can look at that too. Maybe, the Panthers have been a little bit, better than we think at stopping with the quarterbacks. I mean, he doesn't rush, but Tua doesn't really rush as much as we think either.
We have Kirk Cousins doo-doo.
I mean, I mean, not in fantasy. He was looking pretty damn good, man. Like, just because we're not
Be
winning.
careful. You see, he's got a Vikings jersey on his back.
Hey, I'm honest about my team. I'm not a Kirk Cousins fan either, but for fantasy, dude, the first 3 weeks was like, dude, he was like the QB1 in fantasy. You're like, okay, dude, like he was just throwing the ball for 300. Like he was on pace for like over 6,000 yards. Like it was insane. Like it was crazy. Yeah. But like who shut him down? The Panthers did.
Mm-hmm.
The first
well,
team to
and the Panthers defense is a weird one because 4 years ago, I think every single one of their draft picks went to the defensive side of the ball, and all those guys are starting to get experience. Like they're not a bad defense, to be fair. Like they're
to be fair.
It's a weird to be fair, it's a weird one.
They just figure out how to help you make your own mistakes. Like that's what Carolina's kind of done. Like
yeah. But there's just so many weapons in Miami. It's absolutely gross. Like with the Vikings, it's Kirk Cousins and Justin Jefferson with Hawkinson. So you stop those two guys, it's
Addison's, besides one game, he's had a touchdown. So, I mean, that's a pretty good weapon, too. KJ's out there, too. I mean, the only thing that's Madison's kind of been all right. But, yeah, I mean, having two crazy, insane good running backs plus having, Tyreek Hill and Waddle, I mean, that's pretty insane.
I just don't know how I'm shocked the Bills did what they did against them and then just dumpstered themselves against Jacksonville. But defenses are weird. Like London.
I'm just glad to see Dallas isn't the only inconsistent team out there.
We're all going Fields. Are we all going Fields on this one?
Yeah, I think so.
I think so.
Fields.
Yeah.
We got a ton of questions though, so keep us
going.
Well,
I don't think San Fran's gonna get Judy.
They don't.
I don't think San Fran.
They got no reason to pay for him. They
don't need him. They got enough skill position players.
He can go to the Raiders and play there.
And they're happy with David Bell and Juwan Jennings as wide receiver 3.
There's a lot of.
I think Judy to Carolina could be a thing because Carolina's been saying they want a wide receiver 1 now. So throw him out there, get some youth. You can get him for nothing if you want a wide receiver 1. He's as cheap as you can get for a wide receiver 1 type.
Yeah,
is he better than Terrace Marshall right now?
Yes.
Oh yeah, Terrace Marshall's not even. He didn't play a snap last week.
It's so crazy, man. He was really, really talented on that LSU team too. It's crazy to see him just.
But was he talented because he played behind Chase and Jefferson? So he saw the third best defender.
Chase was out that year. And
that's true. Yeah, he sat out.
Marshall actually Terrace actually had a really good year. So.
I'll answer this one. Purdy's better than Dak in fantasy and in real life. I'm over Dak.
So mean to you.
I'm over Dak at
That's
this
the
point.
jaded Cowboys fan speaking.
Listen, I was
too many nights in tears, too many times crying yourself to sleep.
Coming into this year, I was probably one of the last Dak defenders, and then this year, I'm just over it. I'm over it.
Dak has left you heartbroken, and you just can't heal. I get it.
I'm over it. He's literally declining. Ever since he signed his nice big extension that he didn't earn, he's been playing
everyone wants to talk about running backs not getting paid big money. Man, I think quarterbacks is the next one because Purdy's breaking. I think more people can do what the Niners are doing. You don't need a stud. Give them weapons. Pay for weapons that are cheaper. A quarterback costs you what 2-star wide receivers would. So just go get 2-star wide receivers and throw a 5th-round quarterback in there, and you'll be just fine. It's unbelievable.
Especially if you have a good coach. If you have a good coach, for sure.
Or you get, you go Mahomes did get extended, but Mahomes originally signed a 10-year, pretty friendly contract. A good quarterback can be fine making all their money on their endorsement deals. They don't have to take the whole team's salary cap.
Now listen,
Brady was a good example of that. I would rather have the talent around me so that I can win Super Bowls and become a Hall of Famer and have my name stamped in the sport forever, rather than get my big check now that's, going to do what?
Exactly.
Well, and that's what I was going to mention too was Brady. He always took less money so that they could sign other stuff. And I was just how are other people aren't noticing this pattern? He takes less money They could sign other talent and win Super Bowls. Like
New England always had a good defense, though. They spent their money on their
That's where all the
defense.
money went.
yeah, I mean, after Moss was gone, he never really had like a great receiver, I wouldn't say, but
never had anyone like
he didn't need him because
remotely-
he had little bitty white guys that played slot, like Wes Welker. You know, you got Danny Amendola in there.
Amendola,
You got Julian Edelman. Like, who else do you need?
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
I don't know, Randy Moss.
Randy Moss would have been nice to be there for a long time, but you know they ain't spending no money on offensive players.
No, not at all.
Let's keep rolling through these questions. We got
Captain. Oh, hold on a second, Captain. I was going to say too. You have to have the good offensive coordinator to go with a bad quarterback, though, because the Steelers are proven a bad quarterback and a bad offensive coordinator don't get it done.
That's fair. That's fair because they have the weapons there. They just not doing a whole lot else.
Albert.
Exactly. Albert in the house.
Always coming to hang out.
Definitely, I'm Fields over Lamar. Lamar is just every
Is that
year.
Lamar? That's
It's
his
supposed, to
Lamar.
be, it's supposed to be Lamar, I'm sure. But every year I'm excited for Lamar, and then every year he lets me down.
You know, besides the 1 year, if you take the 1 year out that he was the QB1, he averages QB13 every single year. That's pretty bad.
I was telling Corey that last night. He's made an entire career off of one really good year.
Is QB13 like really like that bad though? Like
For what you drafted at, yes.
Yeah, where you draft him, yeah, because you're living on that.
He never
living
finished
on that,
like
future vision or that vision of Michael Vick, where you get all these running yards.
If you're drafting him to be there in your playoffs, you're gonna miss out.
It's definitely hurting the team. Like he's definitely like handcuffing them almost because like they have to play a certain style for him to have the hope of returning to that, and we don't know if he will anymore. And
I don't think he will. I don't think he ever will. Traded Javonte for Ford before the game. How'd I do? Yeah, I like Ford better.
I mean,
really?
Javonte looked kind of
like
good.
In redraft?
In redraft, yeah.
Dynasty, I don't know.
No, Dynasty, absolutely not. But
redraft.
This doesn't say Dynasty, though. So, yeah, for redraft, I'm in on that.
I definitely like the Browns O-line for running the football much better than Denver's.
But Javonte was efficient enough tonight, it looked like.
But he was still splitting almost. He was like right at 50-50 with McLaughlin, though, right?
Yeah.
Well, they're not going to give him the full workload his first game back.
It was still 60-40.
Mm-hmm.
Still, that offense is
Williams. He's still. I mean, he did all right. He still caught it. He was the only one to catch a pass for a running back. Like he did all right.
I actually like Ford better in redraft, which sounds crazy, but this is like one of those moments where we got to kind of leave the names. I just think anybody that runs behind the Browns O-line is going to be more successful. Obviously, Denver is a hot mess. They can't get. I mean, if you looked when they were running the ball, they had to find small gaps. There were no gaping holes to run through, and those guys are in the backfield. And most of the time they got yards, it was like over pursuit or something like that. It wasn't like just because the O-line was killing it at doing their job.
How well is that offense going to be?
And they were lucky the game was as close as it was. Like, it shouldn't have been this close at all. Like, the Chiefs should be freaking embarrassed for should have lost to Minnesota last week and barely doing it this week. I wish I picked them in survivor pools this week because they're not giving me any confidence in any kind of respectable matchup. Like,
yeah, San Fran will have something for them.
Oh, it's gonna be. I'm excited. Like,
yeah. Would y'all trade London and Moss for Zay Flowers?
No,
I wouldn't either. And it's
been
more
saying it all year.
Like
London over Zay, and then Moss is.
Well, that's just it. It's like you're just giving away Moss for nothing, and you're, I guess, picking a guy you like. I don't know. I have both these guys in some leagues, and I still prefer London just because I think he's a consistent, he's a possession, big volume guy, whereas Flowers is definitely more of a tricky guy. He's getting lots of targets, but what are those targets really worth in Baltimore right now? Like you're just hoping he gets 9 catches, and that'll be majority of your points will be the actual catches because it's not
9
yards
catches
right now.
for 12 yards. Like,
Yeah, I'm out on that.
Joshua.
Oh,
What's up,
Josh.
Jay? What's up, Josh? TSA
Chris.
representative.
Start 2, DeMarcado, Moss, or Ford.
Who do the Colts play?
Mercado for sure.
They play the Jags.
Yep.
I'm going.
DeMarcado's a
Ford
weird
and
one though,
Mercado.
because Engram he was hurt last week, and that's why he didn't get to play.
They actually have DeMarcado as RB2 on their depth chart behind Connor. I think that he probably gets. I think it's probably 60-40, but Ingram still has not practiced in full. Or at least I checked today, and he hadn't practiced in full yet. So I still don't think that he's ready to take that load. I think Moss will lose some more to JT this week, and then the Jags might have one of the better linebackers in the league in the middle of that defense right there.
This is amazing.
Yeah.
But to me, it's the only thing I think about is like, is it's PJ Walker is the one who's going to be running that offense in Cleveland, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. They can run the ball. It can be PJ Walker. It can be Josh Dobbs. It can be, Watson. It doesn't matter. They can. That's one thing Cleveland can always do. Even when Baker was there, Hunt and Joe, like Cleveland will always run the ball and be able to do it.
We're talking about a what was it, XFL player that came, and is like been a backup player for a long time, PJ Walker.
But he's came in and been successful at times. Like it's just as like just starting Josh Dobbs or start. I mean, okay, here's the perfect example. Here's the perfect example. Dorian Thompson-Robinson. He started and they still was able to run the ball.
Yeah. They'll be able to run the ball.
Were they letting him run the ball because they knew they couldn't keep up by letting them run the ball?
Well, here's the problem with the backup QB
it was tough.
this week is they're playing the Niners.
Yeah, Dre Greenlaw.
The Niners with a backup QB is very different. That's a very different situation.
I still think I have more confidence in them being able to do that, and I like Jerome Ford to catch balls out of the backfield over others. And if they're playing from behind, there'll be a lot of that because I don't think that, I don't see PJ Walker just killing it going downfield.
No, I agree with you. Like, I'm on Ford and DeMarcado here. I'm a little concerned about Ford because of that matchup, but I can't play Moss just not knowing, okay, how much are they going to ramp up Jonathan Taylor this week? They really started him slow last week. Like any week now, he could just completely take back over, and you don't know which week it's going to be.
Then why not if you're flipping a coin, then why not just leave it on Moss and just hope until he's doesn't go off? He's so hot right now. Why not?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't
it's hard for them not to give a guy like that snaps.
It's not even that he does so much after the kill. His yards after I'm sure after what is his yards after touching the ball?
I don't know where this came from. He was not this in Buffalo. He was hot garbage in Buffalo.
He can stay healthy in Buffalo to get going. He wasn't bad in Buffalo.
He was so bad in
Buffalo.
The dude was running into his offensive lineman in Buffalo. It was bad.
He just couldn't get hit.
I'm shocked Zach Moss even made it onto a team. He was that bad in Buffalo.
So what's our answer here? I'm going Ford DeMarcado.
I'm gonna be the odd man out. I'm going
Ford DeMarcado as well.
JC, what did you say? You're going Moss?
DeMarcado and Moss. I'm going Moss. I'm just going to ride the train.
Tyler?
I'm going to go DeMarcado and Ford.
All right, so we got 3 for DeMarcado and Ford. JC, sorry, bud.
It's okay.
B-Town ran all over.
JC's been on Moss Island before.
The tribe has spoken. Sorry. This one's gross. Elijah Moore or Dotson? You got to go Dotson, but I'm not excited about it.
Waivers.
Yeah. Surely there's
awesome.
something on waivers you can grab. Would y'all trade Stroud for Thielen in a 1 QB league?
I still don't think so.
Stroud's just playing too
Yeah.
good. T-Law ain't showing it to me this year, man. I'm very disappointed in Trevor Lawrence.
If it's
I feel
redraft,
like you're just trading oranges for other oranges.
yeah, I agree with that comment.
Like,
I'm
just
biased.
just slightly fresher, newer oranges.
yeah, shinier oranges. But like, I just don't see a reason to trade Stroud right now. Like, he's been making it work. Like, and T-Law's been fine with wide receivers doing good enough. So it's, I don't know. Like, I think it's the same thing. You're getting the same production. I think the ceilings are similar. Like, yeah.
What do you guys think of
Tyler
that?
said he's buying. Tyler's buying.
Tyler's going T-Law?
Tyler's buying.
Yeah, and
because you
it's
shared
a
an
little bit
initial.
biased, so I can't. I've got T-Law in a lot of leagues.
Zay
I
Jones is
drafted
back.
him. You know, I'm too invested to make this decision.
You got Zay.
I like Trevor Lawrence. I expected big things from him.
I still like Trevor Lawrence. He's doing it. I mean, he's running the ball. He's throwing the ball. He's quarterback 17 right now, which isn't wonderful. But, I mean, I only see it continuing to get better and better, especially as they establish a run. Stroud looks good, though. Stroud's QB 13 on the year right now. And
as a rook.
Yeah, as a rook. I mean, he's doing good.
They have an easy schedule. Like, they have a really easy schedule for quarterbacks.
It sucks that Dell's out.
It's one of those like where like it's like with Purdy, right? Do you trade Purdy and buy a name, right? Like do you buy Dak or do you buy do you buy a name or do you stick with like the young person?
Is Dak a name?
No,
huh?
Dak is not a name.
Well, I mean, somebody that you know, like
it was a bad example, but you know what he meant.
Yeah, Dak's gonna Pro Bowler. Like you're buying a name, right? Like
buy a Kirk Cousins on his down.
Like Dak went before Purdy in drafts. Dak went before Stroud in drafts. Like that, like like it.
Yeah.
But the other two are grossly outperforming him. So that's what I mean. Like you buy somebody that you know, a name that plays on America's team, but you're not paying attention to the numbers, and the numbers say Stroud's doing just fine.
Mm-hmm.
They both have easy schedules, though, Captain. To your point, they're in the same division. So they have.
No, I get that, but I mean, like even like the out of division games the Texans have, like it's easy. Like you're looking at the Raiders, you're looking at Denver. Like it's not scary teams. Like,
well, again, though, in the same division, their crossovers should be the same too, right?
I think so.
I guess it just depends on where they.
Scheduling's weird,
but
yeah,
because you play all the years twice, and I think you cross over with another conference in or another division in your conference, and then a division in the other conference. And those
we're seeing a lot of NFC South this year, which it's not great when it's the Saints, but it's wonderful when it's Carolina, the Bucks, and whoever that other team is.
Atlanta, yeah.
Even though we just lost to them, but they're weird at home. Atlanta's a weird team. Like that was probably one of their better games all season was last week. That was gross. Hated it.
Yeah. JC, what did you say on this one, Stroud or Lawrence?
Let's just say stick with Stroud. I mean T-Law can obviously he's talented, but I'm just gonna stick it out with Stroud, man. He's been throwing.
See if you can't get more.
Yeah,
like what Tyler's saying. See if you can't get like T-Law plus something.
Yeah. That's worth a shot.
Throwing a
that's like one of those times when as you're trading, you're like, man, why would I trade a quarterback for a quarterback? Obviously, you think that you're getting the better quarterback, or you wouldn't want to do the trade.
1-for-1s at the same position.
Yeah.
I'm just like, why would you even send that?
T-Law's 17, Stroud's 13. Stroud's got you build that. You're like Stroud's got the better schedule. Blah 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 blah. Sell.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they're like, okay, I'll give you T-Law and Christian Kirk.
Yeah.
Deal.
Yeah.
T-Law and Zach Moss.
Judy to Las Vegas. Probably not.
Right
Jacoby
then.
Myers is the future.
Yeah, Jacoby Myers was good. in New England, and New England is dumb, and they let him walk and brought in some other punk because they wanted his TikToks.
Juju TikTok boy.
So bad.
Fields or Herbert?
Ooh, I got this in a lot of leagues. Well, I got this in 2 leagues.
I'm going with Fields here still.
I don't know. Herbert's got a good matchup too.
Yeah.
Fields in a good matchup. Herbert's playing Dallas, so I think we'll play better than they did against the Niners.
Yeah. In one of my leagues, I'm going with Herbert just because I need something safe because it's going to be a close matchup. So I need 20 points. So I'm kind of going Herbert with that one. But on the other one, I'm deciding still. I debate if I want to go for Fields in the hopes he pops off again.
So, I mean, can we kind of look back at who Dallas played in the first 4 weeks and just say that their defense is a little bit farce because they got torched by a couple of the really good teams, or good quarterbacks, you know? I don't know, man. I think, you know, Herbert can come out and light some people up, and
Well, you know, they lost their top cornerback pretty early, so I think that's part of it. You know, no Diggs on the Dallas defense, and where are they beating them? They're beating them in the passing game.
Yeah. Was Diggs their best?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying too. I don't think so either.
I think it's gonna be probably this will be like the highest scoring Monday night game we see. Like a lot of the games aren't even getting to 30 points total. This could be a big one because I think both secondaries are not good. So
losing Diggs hurt Dallas's defense, but they're still a really good unit. The Niners just are that good, but also our defense gave up last week because our offense wasn't doing shit. We had like single-digit yards in the first 4 drives, and they're just like, "Fuck this," and I don't blame them.
I'm still a little bit. I'm like over here, curious. What DB or like what cornerback is better on that team than Diggs?
No way.
I'm just saying that doesn't matter.
I said he's the best DB. You take their best DB away, of course they're not going to be as good.
Yeah. Everybody had to.
He said, "Is Diggs their best DB?" Well, who? If he's not, who is?
Oh, I was asking because he wasn't good, so I assumed there had to have been someone else.
He's not very good.
No, he's the best on their team for sure.
So if
He's a
they
two-time
if
Pro-
Diggs
a
is
lot of
not
people-
good and they
He
lost
must not
their
saying a
best,
lot.
A lot of people don't say he's very good, but he's a 2-time Pro Bowler already. So
Hey, that's not saying a lot. Anybody can
35,
be a Pro Bowler
32
these
is gonna be the
days, dude.
score.
okay, don't make us start talking about Harrison Smith.
He's good, man.
He is good.
This will be a big scoring game, I think. So I'm going Herbert because I think they'll be going back and forth.
The only reason I like Fields is just because they're going against Minnesota, but I also think I'm going to lean here towards Herbert. Huge upside would be Fields. Herbert's safer and still has upside.
I think Fields is safe too, though, against many.
Could be.
With the role that he's been on.
Mahomes only had an okay week against them last week.
Well, he only had an okay night tonight against Denver. Too. So.
Yeah.
I'm going Fields.
Yeah, that's a really good upside play. Really good.
I think Taylor Swift is distracting Mahomes. Mahomes likes his family to be in the spotlight in that stadium. So
well, shoot, his wife was all hugging up with Taylor Swift. I mean, literally, and then like on the table, like they're selling Mahomes' book, and they're like talking about it. And then on the side, they have Taylor Swift books on his table because it's gonna bring people up. Like literally. She shows up at the first game, and Kelsey's jersey sales go up 400%.
So,
I mean, obviously, she's still a good thing. Like the owner's like, yeah, Taylor Swift and Kelsey, yeah, we're selling a crap ton of jerseys right now. They probably have a KC Swiftie jersey that they're selling, and it's probably their top selling jersey right now.
Right. No, probably, definitely.
If they have that, it's definitely their high seller.
I'm gonna look it up. Let's go to the next question, but I'm gonna look it up.
The number was like 86.
Like
86. Was she born in 86 or something? But the number like that I've seen, like so the Vikings ones that I saw last week where people were, which is funny because a lot of these people fans like they spent on these Swiftie jerseys for the Vikings, and she didn't even show up for the Vikings game.
Oof. Yeah, he just
they're
said
everywhere.
All of his questions are redraft. So Captain's mind always goes to Dynasty first.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Here's that question that Tyler mentioned earlier: Ingram or DeMarcado? Ingram was out last week, so of course it's DeMarcado. I still think it's going to be DeMarcado.
I
Ingram's
think it
never,
has to be too. Like I kind of talked myself into it, just the fact that we've seen him, he was efficient. I think you at least have to ride the hot hand over the guy that for some reason you were carrying on the roster, even if he was the two in previous weeks, he wasn't playing. So I think you
well,
ride the hot hand. So if anything goes 60-40 in DeMarcado's favor.
Ingram's
Evan,
never been a very impressive player, anyways. So why wouldn't they give DeMarcado a shot? You know.
Mhm.
Evan, I'm gonna spotlight him. He said it later in the chat. He said Ingram's looked awful every time we've seen him. Like, has there ever been a moment where you're like,
Mhm.
oh man, that guy looks killer? Like, at least we got that a little bit last week with DeMarcado. Like, he looks like he's like the McLaughlin, right? Like, we expected P. Ryan to eat into Javante's carries this year, and instead it's McLaughlin. And because he
Right.
looks more electric, and I think that's kind of what you see here. And Gannon don't care. Like, if you're effective, he's playing you. Like, it's not about a name,
Mhm.
Yep. Big London week this week. Tennessee and Baltimore. I mean, I guess you could call it a big week.
Was it
What is
that
he
London, or is
saying?
he
Big
talking
week
Drake
in
London?
London, or is he saying big
Oh,
London?
he might mean Drake London. You're right. That's a good point. I was just thinking they're going to
Kyle
limit
is
team.
just so
Done
past
with
and
it.
done with Drake London, he doesn't even consider him a thing anymore.
Well, there's a London game, so I just assumed that's what he meant.
I'm not buying. Either one. Like, I'll play D Hop in London because there's nobody else to throw to. As far as London goes, like, Ritter had a good game passing the ball last week. His every other game this season has not been good passing the ball. So in my thoughts, what's more likely to happen? Another big game and London gets a TD, or same old Ritter that we expect all season?
Yeah,
I hope I'm wrong about my take of him being good this week because I want a free lunch from Greg Kellogg. Third bet. I need to get that free lunch.
All right, how's Mostert's value after A-Chain getting hurt?
It's
Yeah.
up. Jeff Wilson Jr. is going to come back, which is going to be the same thing. It's going to be a timeshare. McDaniels likes to run everybody, but I think it definitely helps him because A-Chain was starting to eat into some of that work and get more and more percentages. So, him being gone, I like Mostert. I picked Mostert in my DFS lineups. I picked Mostert like everywhere to have a big week.
Yeah. And Mostert I like too. I honestly don't think Jeff Wilson cuts. I don't think he gets the same workload A-Chain had first week back, but
No. I don't think he will.
just 'cause
Period.
he's just coming back. I don't think he gets the same workload A-Chain had, but I see he gets some, and then I think they play like I could see him catching more than he does run, but we'll
I
see
don't
how it
think
goes. But
any. I don't think.
Mostert should be so great this week.
I don't think any of these weeks A-Chain's out. He's going to get the workload that A-Chain got. Wilson.
Well, it's weird. I'm more curious to see what Selvin Ahmed does.
I agree with that take.
So.
Still not as worried about him. Mostert's going to get a huge workload this week.
Oh,
Me too,
Mostert
but
is going to be unaffected by whoever it is, but I'm just saying, like, we could see Wilson get like 2 touches, and I might get like 10, and everyone would be like, "Well, shit! Like, why'd I hold on to this guy?
Why was I holding Jeff Wilson?
Yeah,
That's true. All right, Jorge. Got us a long trade here. Got offered Eckler, Brown for Stevenson, White, and Lamb or Puka. Yeah, I would do that for either one, Lamb or Puka, but try Puka first. Eckler Brown's a pretty good haul for that group of guys.
yeah, Eckler and AJ for those 3, I'd be pretty happy with too.
And I think really the debatable thing, or the thing that he's probably debating the most, is Lamb or Puka.
Mm-hmm. And it's tough because everything is screaming at us saying like it's obviously Lamb, but it's not because of Dak. Like Puka's been getting the work. Like,
He
what
said
do you-
that he might could get the guy to add Ford in the deal.
To do it.
I think that's worth it because it's always like I love having running back depth. You can't have enough, and we don't know the
Yeah.
rest of your roster, so you're shipping, even if they're not great running backs, that's two. So now you have one with Eckler, and he hasn't been healthy the last few weeks, so there's that fear.
Yeah, try to get Ford too. But honestly, with Eckler and AJ,
Yeah,
I still love
Even
Lane, but
make sure the guy
Lane
knows Ford
took
plays
it.
the Niners this week, and really put the fear in him for that. So be like, oh yeah, throw him away. He's not gonna do well this week anyway against the Niners. Just really throw that fear in him and see if you can get him to throw him in.
there you go.
Yeah.
I think
Tell him he can have his pick of Lamb or
I
Puka.
might be selling Lamb, dude. Regardless
Yeah.
of him being the number 2, like he still put up 20 points last week.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
That's
what's
just been hot trash. I'm sorry to say that, Kyle, but it's been really hard to.
Whoop.
wow. Kyle took
Dude, that was
personal.
weird. Like my whole
Kyle took that real
no,
personal.
dude, like my whole screen
It's
just
like-
kind of
Yeah.
flashed, and then everybody went away. I was like, "What the hell?" Just
It was that take.
sorry,
It was
I
that
got-
take. They
Kyle
were
will
like,
not have Lamb
well, I mean, it
slander
was a
here.
bullshit take, but I wouldn't shut the stream down for it.
Lamb
Censorship.
slander.
Live censorship.
And listen, everybody, like, I understand Dallas had a shit game against the Niners and they look like garbage, but everybody's overreactions to me is a little silly on the defense, on Lamb, on Pollard. Like, come on, guys. Grow
Yeah,
up.
they're going to be
And
okay.
it's not just you guys, like, it's everybody. It's like, grow up. So, to me, Puka's the obvious choice between him
Yeah,
and
like
whatever.
he had 4 catches against the Giants, and then he had 4 catches against the Cardinals, and he had 4 catches against New England, and he had 4 catches against like
New England and the Giants are playing with huge leads and running the ball.
like
The
4
Niners
catches.
are great. So he had
4.
one bad game again. He had
Puka-
one actual
Puka's
bad
getting
game.
3 times the work.
Do what you want. I'm just telling you what I would do. I
All right,
want,
let's keep
I want
rolling.
the better athlete, the better receiver, and that's Lamb, period.
Yeah, I do love Lamb's talent. And he
By
doesn't
the
get
way,
catch
if you're tuned in,
Is this
like,
the one we were talking about
subscribe, we
earlier?
love this stuff.
Oh.
What's up, Evan?
Yeah, that's the one I read from
Is that the
SoCal.
one you read earlier? Okay.
Yeah, but make sure y'all like and subscribe to the video. We're here every Thursday after Thursday night football, hanging out and answering your questions. Thanks for everybody that's been in. Much appreciated.
Brian Robinson, D Hop, or McLaurin for
D
flex.
Hop. 100% D Hop.
Yeah,
Brian Robinson's a sit this week.
D Hop without Traylon Burks playing went for what was it, 140 yards receiving?
yeah.
Like, we saw what it's like for Tannehill to feel comfortable just chunking the ball at somebody.
Yeah, and he's not, and he's throwing it at a good somebody too, which helps.
Yeah.
I think this is the first question all 4 of us have had the same answer. Dotson's been such a letdown after his 2022. You're not the only
Agreed.
one that's disappointed.
It's Curtis Samuel season, baby. Got him in
I mean,
round 16 of like every
Dawson was
draft.
fine.
Gino saying she got like round 20 in some leagues.
Curtis Samuel is still on waivers in like half of my redraft
Oh,
leagues.
damn it. Stupid.
10 teamers. There's a lot of receivers out there.
How many fantasy points was he averaging?
Really selling my week already. Oh, Patty Mahomes. Yeah,
I had
the
Patty in
best-
the league too. It wasn't beautiful.
not the best night for Mr. Mahomes.
But how do you ever sit Patrick Mahomes? Like, who are you going to start over him? Like, how do you sit him? You just roll with it. Some guys have great weeks. Sometimes they like this is a floor week for Mahomes. Like, this is like Mahomes' floor. You know,
Yeah.
like
Mhm.
you'll be all right.
Yeah. We've seen this before. They suck up until like week 13, and then they're like, shoot, we have to try. And then they do. That's wonderful.
Millie Mills, no Atlanta. Hey, I'll tell you this. I like Atlanta's run game, and I like Atlanta's defense. I don't love Atlanta's quarterback.
At home.
If they get a good quarterback, if they had a real quarterback, like a really good quarterback, I mean, they would easily run that division, in my opinion.
Yeah. And they finally used Pitts. Why couldn't they wait one more week to be like, we have this guy, we should use him? And they're like, like we're here at home. Houston told us about this Pitts guy. We should try throwing to him.
For real though, like what the hell?
Like unbelievable. Like great for Pitts owners. They're probably happier seeing it happen.
Spears or Sanders rest of the season? I'm going Spears.
Isn't that Isn't that crazy that we've arrived at asking that question?
It is, yeah. Dude, Sanders has been so bad. Like, what is that about?
Yeah.
Well, I think he's going to be out this
shocking.
week. He's banged up.
I think that's trending that way.
He's still fumbling the ball when he catches it, just like he did when he was in Philly.
Yeah. Like, Hubbard is not a good running back, but he's been outplaying Sanders all year. It's weird. Oh, here we go. I know JC's response is anyone playing Howell over Dak this weekend. I think everybody should play Howell over Dak this weekend.
I'm not playing Howell over Dak this weekend.
Is there another option?
Yeah, I think I'd find another option probably.
Dude, Atlanta's defense is nice. Good pass rush, good DBs. Like, Atlanta's nice.
I think they're at home again.
Dak right now has 5 touchdowns and 4 interceptions.
He'll be all right. That's not all on him. If you watch, I watch Dallas play every week, usually because it's at one of those games where there's not a whole bunch of other games on at the same time. And you got deflected interceptions. Like it's not him just like straight throwing picks.
Sometimes it is though, and those are the ones that piss me off. He'll hit the defender right in the numbers, and that's when I'm like, all right.
Yeah, that did happen.
But last year, like I swear, half of his interceptions were deflections, just layups. It's like, come on, we got a bunch of panhands out there.
Yeah.
And even now, we go get Brandon Cooks, and we still don't have a number 2 receiver.
Yeah, way to ruin Brandon Cooks, a guy that just perennially gets 1,000 yards, and Dak's gonna ruin it for him.
I know. Like, if we still couldn't throw to him last week either. Like,
we threw the long to cook with. You can't even
cook with a cook. We throw the long pass to our punt returner instead for a touchdown. And then we just keep running Pollard into the wall that is the Niners' front line. It's just like, what are we doing?
Which is crazy because Dallas does not have a bad O-line. Like, what the hell? Like what's –
It's a weak-ass offensive coordinator that can't scheme shit against anybody. That's what it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Miles Sanders, rest of season. Get rid of him.
Not looking great.
Get rid
Sell
of
him now.
I don't think you can sell him right now for like the value you want. I mean, especially if he's banged up. Like, you got to hope. Really, you're probably hanging on for like
Edwards. I don't know.
A week 7, or like a week 8 or 9, probably like a good game, and then you need to sell like right before the trade deadline to somebody that's really running back needy, and try to in dynasty you can get good value, at that point in redraft maybe.
Chip him for a second.
Yeah, just wait for a couple more injuries to happen, and then somebody.
I need to hope Hubbard blows it this week when he doesn't play, and Hubbard was trash.
Hubbard's not going to blow it, and Hubbard's not trash.
Hubbard's blown it and been trash in the past when the starter was out. When McCaffrey.
The issue is Hubbard.
He's great or he's bad.
Here's the issue with Hubbard. Okay, who predated Hubbard? Who was there before Hubbard got the start?
McCaffrey.
Other guy.
Well, McCaffrey was out for that whole year. Hubbard
but then when Hubbard got in, he
started
still had massive production that year after CMC went out. But still, CMC is the standard, right? So we're like, oh, Hubbard's not that great because he's not doing, but he was doing good running back numbers, and he's outperforming Miles Sanders this year. I don't think he's bad. I think bad's the wrong word. I think that offensive line
Sanders is bad.
Hubbard is a backup running back in the NFL. That's not bad. That's
fair, but the verbiage was bad, and I just want to like he's not a bad running back. Like in my opinion, he's probably a higher level handcuff to have out of handcuffs you can have in the league.
And it might, who knows? It might be what it was with him and Foreman last year. It could be Sanders and Hubbard splitting carries rest of the season. Like it could be weird. Sanders has been doing nothing to hold on to that job.
No, he didn't run away with it like I think everybody expected him to. Everybody was so excited, and he's just not getting it done.
Mm-mm.
Dotson big week coming. I doubt it.
No.
I highly doubt it.
No.
This guy averaged 11 points last year. He wasn't good then when he was getting touchdowns. He won't be good this year.
You know who cornerback 2 is? I'll give you a hint. He was a first-round pick. Trivia.
I don't even know who the Commanders are playing this week.
I don't know. I'm not good with defender
Cornerback
names.
2 for Atlanta.
I'm not.
Heineke?
No,
What?
cornerback.
Oh, cornerback.
Yeah, I'm not great with all the defenders.
Jeff
names.
Okuda.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
And Jeff Okuda, when he went to Atlanta, all of a sudden came to life and said, I am a first-round pick. Watch me work.
Did he go there from Detroit too?
Yes, he went from Detroit.
Detroit's like, what the hell?
They picked him
and he flashed in Detroit. He would have good games in Detroit, and then
he would get hurt.
It wasn't the deep. Yeah, like he wasn't bad. Dotson's bad. Dude just catches a touchdown every now and then to shock you. He is like what Tunyon was years ago when he had like 75 touchdowns for 60 yards.
All right. If Saquon doesn't play, who are we playing in the 14-man half PPR? JSN, Deontay, or Downs?
Yeah.
I'm playing Josh Downs.
I like Downs. I started him in the league last week, and he did all right.
That's another like wild thing to say. Like everybody coming into the year was like, Donta Foreman, RB1 for Chicago. Like he's gonna come there and be the dude, and he ain't even got playing time. And then whenever those two guys go out, who do they play? Blasingame. Like you know what I mean? Like you still don't get Foreman. And like this week, I don't know. It's too much of a risk for me to even go that way. But I will say this: who's quarterbacking Indy this week? It's gonna be Minshew. And Minshew showed last week, he's going to get Josh Downs the ball. And he didn't even get the full game. So give him the full game. Josh Downs going to be okay.
Gardner Minshew is Downs with the sickness, baby.
I mean, I want Gardner Minshew to get a spot so bad. He's a good quarterback.
He should be a Viking.
He's a gamer.
He can come be a Viking.
That would be fine. That's like when they went and got Kirk Cousins from Washington.
I was like, Kirk Cousins has got to be getting close to retirement anyways, right? So,
I mean, that would be a cheap quarterback. You could get Minshew on like a 4-year deal next year and probably not even pay what it would cost you to draft somebody in the first round.
Do it. London or Garrett Wilson rest of the season?
So shitty, man.
Again, here we are at this question. Like Garrett Wilson or Jay, like these guys were like consensus, like 3rd and 4th round picks in your redraft leagues. And here we are, like, are they even startable? Where the hell has the world come to? And in that, I guess, I mean, I don't know. They're both, I think it's like the same. It's like they're both gonna be maybes. Like you're not gonna get consistency. Neither one of them have a great floor. You're just hoping for the 1 week where London gets a touchdown or Garrett Wilson hits the slant across and then takes it for 70 yards and a touchdown. Like, you know, that's what you're hoping for. You're hoping for the one big play that makes it possible, but neither one of them are guaranteed.
They got mediocre quarterbacks thrown to them. Anything could happen at any given second.
I still think I want Wilson, though, just barely.
The talent is better.
The talent's better, but that offense is going to throw just a touch more than.
Like they're almost
Wilson,
the
man.
same. Like you have a great run game, so quarterback play, a defense that can help carry you in a game. So it's almost the same offense.
It's bad, man. Here's the deal. Flip a coin here. I'm gonna tell you right now.
So you basically could, yeah. It's super close.
It sucks, dude.
It does. Chargers Dallas on Monday gonna be fun. I hope so.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
We like fun
Highest scoring
games.
Monday
I
night
just
game.
hate that I have to wait till Monday to watch the Cowboys. I hate Monday night games.
Yeah.
Name and Paul the rest of the season. Yup.
Relax. Thanks, Evan. Speak that sense.
One of the best.
Chargers a get right game for Dak. I hope so.
What if he does it? What if he does it?
I don't expect him to.
Trey Lance season in Dallas.
Dude, ever since we traded,
we won't hit that level. I don't think it'll hit that
no.
level.
Ever since we traded for Trey Lance, I'm like, just give him a chance.
If he does,
God.
dude, I have a card sitting here waiting to take off. Please, Dallas, dude, watch him and Lamb just go bonkers together. You're just like, holy fuck, this is what we were waiting for.
Him and Pollard just running opposite directions out of a
Oh.
shotgun. You don't know who's going what way. Best of luck to everyone.
I really don't think Trey Lance could throw any more interceptions than Dak. So what do we got to lose?
Look,
I
Dak's
like
gonna
that.
be okay this week. It's gonna be fine.
What if he's not?
There is no what if. It's gonna happen. We're gonna actually see a good week from Dak
Tune in
Prescott.
Tuesday. We will talk about how bad Dak is.
Yes. Tuesday you'll be like, and now what, Tyler?
Yeah.
And Corey
Everyone
and
come in
Kyle, you Dallas
Tuesday,
fans.
Watch
Now
Tyler get egg on his face.
What do y'all think about Deontay Johnson as a stash?
he's fine. He's good as a stash. I don't love
Yeah.
Pittsburgh's situation passing the ball, but he'll be fine. He's a good play. He's got a decent floor.
Especially as a stash. Like this is a guy that like the volume was gross a few years ago. Like they gotta find a way to get him the ball if they want to be serious and start winning. Because their division is up for grabs. That's the wild thing with how up and down this division is for them right now. Like the Browns are fumbling it right now. The Ravens are what they always are. Like the Bengals just found out they're good again. Like it's wild. Like anything can happen.
Yep.
It is football.
Oh, sure. Stash.
Script.
Oh, Chaka. Every time I watch
Stash.
Deontay take the field, it looks like he's going to have a good game until the Broncos fall 20 behind and turn to salami panini instead.
That sounds good.
I mean, they didn't fall 20 behind tonight because Kansas City didn't even do that.
They gave it
That
to
was their
Pete Ryan
trash.
in 2 minutes, and it was awful. He fumbled.
Oops.
Mhm.
That's why you don't put him out there.
You got these guys that just wait for their opportunity and then they get it and they're just like, oops. It's like, what? Why would you do
Ryan
that?
was given the opportunity at the beginning of the season to be something he still hasn't been.
Yeah. By the way, if you're tuned in right now, please like and subscribe the video. We're trying to hit as many of these questions as you can, but tune in each week. We're here hanging out and having a good time.
Would you trade Carr and Downs for Myers? Guy I'm trading with has no backup QB.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
if you don't need Carr, I'm good with that.
Sure. Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, well, it looks like all of my chat doubled earlier when the screen glitched. So give me 1 second.
Yes.
We gotta scroll
Yeah.
through all of that again.
You know what?
There's a
Tomorrow
bunch of them. There's
Hold
so
on
many
a
missed
second.
too.
is anybody here on the West Coast or on the East Coast?
I usually am.
Oh,
I'm
so
currently in Texas,
Yeah.
though.
Friday the 13th is tomorrow, so like mayhem is coming. It's like
Dude,
Boy.
Friday the 13th, it's Corey, my brother. It's his wedding anniversary tomorrow. 6 years. They got married on a Friday the 13th. It was great.
Oh, it's bold strategy.
Yeah, it's a bold strategy.
Dylan.
Dylan coming in at, like right at the end here.
Dylan Finkel.
I'm glad you stopped by. 12-team redraft, full PPR, good trade. Move D-Hop for Mixon straight up to the J Jettas owner. Let's see.
you're trying
My
to get-
running back, Pollard, Cook, Herbert. Spears.
Yeah, you're fine. You needed the running back. D Hop was
Yeah.
expendable for you. You're good.
Yeah. And Mixon's a great. I feel like he's a buy low somehow. Like he's just been
Yeah.
so okay while the Bengals have been bad. Like with zero like touchdown opportunities, he's been very serviceable, getting you double-digit points. It's gonna get better.
Yeah.
It's gonna get better.
Also, somebody just traded
Good
Hawkins
trade.
for Waller and Pickens. Fair trade. Yeah,
Yes.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I'm good with
Like,
it.
yeah.
I like Pickens a lot, though.
Yeah, I do too. Would y'all trade London for Zay Flowers? No.
You're not making so that's what I think you talk about, right? Trading wide receiver for wide receiver, unless you know for a fact that wide receiver is going to be so much better, like there's no point in doing it. If it's
Here's the thing. Those trades, you always have, like, anytime I get one of those trades, I know I immediately have an edge in the negotiations because they're trying to give me they're offering me a wide receiver, obviously that they believe is lesser for a stronger wide receiver. So like I literally will throw that back at them. Okay, you're offering me this. Did you just think that I like this player better, or no, you want my player? Okay, so what can you add? Right? Like I need something in addition. Like I'm not just looking to do this trade. You send it to me. It doesn't make sense.
Exactly. Oops, I double clicked. Opinion on a trade I made: Adams and Musgrave for Henry, B-Rob, Goddard, and Love.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Definitely got to upgrade at tight end.
If you needed a tight end, I like it.
If you needed running backs, I like it.
I like getting running back depth for sure. Obviously, not getting a receiver back, you've got enough wide receiver
He's
depth.
probably got wide receiver. That's the only reason you make that trade. He probably went 0 RB, and he's sitting on a stash, you know. And then now because B-Rob and Henry are sort of buy lows, you know, you've got opportunity.
Yep. Yeah. Should I trade away Cup for Puka and JT? Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Sup, just get back from Philly's game. Let's fucking go. We're about to go off the
That was a wild game. I was at the bar right before this watching that awesome game.
I don't do baseball. I can't. I like going to like live games, but I can't watch it on TV. It's just boring.
Playoff anything is crazy.
Yeah, and they're my two favorites out of the NL to win it. Was either the Braves or Phillies. Whoever comes out is going to smash.
Let's see. Best half PPR wide receiver for rest of season: Samuel, Dell, or Dobbs, who both clear waivers tomorrow. So basically, would you drop Curtis Samuel to pick up Dell or Dobbs off of waivers? I would for Dell, not for Dobbs.
I think it depends.
Good too.
Yeah, I think if you just need a safe guy you can plug in, get like 12 points a week, I think like Dobbs is your guy. If you have a pretty stacked team and you're like, I just need a flex that can pop off, I think it's Tank Dell.
Yeah, well, Tank Dell and Nico Collins kind of go back and forth on who's the guy, you know. But the other guy usually doesn't benefit very well, you know. So that's the only bad thing. Dobbs has been really good.
It's 20 points or 3 points.
Dobbs has been really well. I mean, Curtis
I
Samuel.
think Dobbs and Watson could kind of start doing the same thing now that Watson's back. Could start alternating maybe.
It could, but I mean, like Love and Dobbs would have been seeing like second team reps all last year, so I do feel like there's more chemistry there than we know.
Maybe.
Plus, I have a 1-of-1 jersey card of his, so I needed to go up in value.
Dylan, appreciate you stopping in, my guy. Yeah, 1-for-1. That's exactly what we were saying. Like, same positions, just silly.
Yeah.
My mom was born Friday the 13th, 3 months premature. Warrior. Yep.
Bold strategy.
Let's see. Got Puka, Waller, Kirk, and Terry. Oh, okay, that was just off that other. So he traded Adams for that deal. That was his depth. Philly's going to smoke the Diamondbacks. I don't know why I'm putting baseball stuff on here, but we're almost – oh, there's the bottom of the chat. Yeah. So we got one more question.
Diamondbacks could surprise, man. Like, I'm from Toronto, so a Blue Jays fan. Gabriel Moreno came from Toronto, and like dude had a home run called back for a foul, goes even further on the next pitch. It was awesome. It's been great baseball outside of the Blue Jays. We won't talk about that. National League's been great baseball.
That's the last baseball thing I'm putting up there.
Yeah.
Hey,
All right.
you know,
Last question in the chat here, and then we'll wrap it up for the night. Should I trade CD for Jettas? Getting Jettas on 4-1 and have Addison and Osborne.
Yes.
Then I would. If you,
hold on.
Yeah.
He has Addison and Osborne. And
Yeah,
you
but I
were
don't think he's
trading
starting
CD
both of
for
them.
Jettas?
Yeah, I'm not. Here's my thought on. We kind of talked about it before. So the Vikings do have a very hard schedule coming up, and Justin Jefferson is out on IR for the next 4 weeks. Hamstring injury. Well, we already seen what Aaron Jones tried to come back from the hamstring, and he's back out again. Like hamstring can flare up very easily. If the Vikings go 1-3 over the next couple of games, they'll be 2-7 when he comes back. Do they plan to bring Jefferson back fully, or do they pay the man and sit him for the rest of the year?
I think it depends how the rest of the division looks, because it's another division that's trash for.
I don't know,
like,
dude. The Lions are very good.
Well, the
and,
Lions are it, but that's true. I guess the Lions are there.
I mean,
Pack aren't great, Bears aren't great, so yeah, it's the Lions.
Bears play against the Vikings and the Packers twice a year, so I mean, it's not like it's it's.
Yeah.
They might be the number 2 in the division. It's crazy.
I'm not doing the trade, which sounds crazy not to trade CD for JJ, but the big difference is having Addison and Osborne. Like, I don't know why you would want 3 wide receivers from the same team. I will say this, and I said this on our show, with JJ out, Addison to me takes a huge tick up. We saw that when he went out of the game, how much he got highlighted. And so to me, it's almost like that opportunity too to build more chemistry, like that being your wide receiver 1. So I think if you keep CD, Addison could be towards the end of the season. He could have built enough rapport with Kirk to still be very, very strong. We saw JJ and Thielen be very relevant at the same time. You know what I mean? So like, I think he and CD could be very, having those two versus having JJ and Addison, on the field at the same time every week. I would rather have the CD and Addison, and you have Osborne as a backup if something happens with Addison or something. You have that later. But you could also dish him. I think Addison is going to have a good run the next while JJ's out.
Trade KJ Osborne to the JJ guy for something.
There you go. I like that. Maybe get another running back somewhere. All right, guys. That's it in the chat. That's all we got for you tonight. Appreciate everybody hanging out, stopping by. JC, Tyler, Captain, thanks for being here. And we'll see you guys tomorrow night. Well,
tomorrow night, 9 o'clock.
We'll be here tomorrow night for From the Forum, 9 o'clock Central. Come hang out and ask more questions. All the questions.
All the questions. We're literally there to answer your questions. Tomorrow, 9 o'clock. Put it on your calendar. It's already on. I think it's already up on Twitter, so you can just go, or on Instagram or YouTube, so you can go ahead and schedule it if you want to. But it's going to be fun.
Absolutely. All right. Appreciate all y'all. Have a good night.